Yo, what's up world? It's your boy Philochko here. You know that American dude with the incredible mood? That's me. And what am I making a lesson about today? Well, today I'm making a lesson based on the 1000 phrasal verb series. Now, this is my 6th installment on the phrasal verb series, and today we're going to learn 12 more phrasal verbs. So, these videos are usually like, 15 minutes long? So, I won't waste your time. Let's get to it. So, the first phrasal verb we're going to get to for today is to bring in. And what does it mean to bring something in? Because this is a separable phrasal verb. What does it mean to bring something in? Well, this basically means to introduce something. So for example, let's say the government were to say something like, today we're bringing in new laws that prohibit drinking alcohol. We're bringing new laws in, bringing new laws in that prohibit the drinking of alcohol. That means they're banning alcohol. You can't have it anymore. No more, not even adults. You can't have it anymore. Stop it. That's what that means, okay? So I use it in two different ways. One when it's together and one when it's separable. They're bringing in new laws, or they're bringing new laws in. And it basically means to introduce. So that's the first one. Let's get to the second one. And the second one we're going to get to is to bring off. That's right, to bring off. And what does it mean to bring off? And this is separable. This basically means to make happen. So for example, let's say I took a Russian exam and I scored a 100, like a perfect score on my advanced Russian exam. And somebody would say, you got a 100 on an advanced Russian exam? How did you bring that off? Separable. How did you bring that off? I would say, man, I studied, or I just paid somebody to take the test for me. That's how I brought that off, or that's how I brought off passing the exam. So basically, how did you make that happen? How did you get to this point? So I have 140,000 subscribers on this channel, and somebody would say, hey, that's a lot. How did you bring that off? I would say, hey man, I just started teaching English and some American slang. People started watching, I kept making videos, and the subscribers kept growing. That's how I brought that off. Easy. Second one. So let's get to the third one. And my list is like under the camera. That's why I'm like staring. The third one we're going to get to is to bring on. To bring on. Now a lot of these bring phrasal verbs are kind of similar, but I'll try to explain the differences. Now what does it mean to bring something on? Because this one is separable as well. Well, when you bring something on, that basically means this is the reason, or this makes this happen. So for example, I can say, I don't like smoking kalyan. You know, hookah, kalyan, or shisha. A lot of you have different names for it. You know, it's the legal thing to smoke, like in a lot of cafes and stuff, or, you know, lounges or bars, they sell it there. So I can say, I don't like smoking hookah because all it's going to do to me is bring on a headache. All it'll do is bring on a headache, and I don't want a headache. Or I can say, all it ever does is bring a headache on. It brings a big headache on. That's all it does for me, is bring on a headache. That means it causes this to happen. So another example, I can say, I don't like eating a lot of McDonald's. It's bad for me. I don't like eating a lot of McDonald's. Why? Because it's going to bring a very smelly bathroom on. Or better yet, it's going to bring an upset stomach on. All it's going to do is upset my stomach, or bring on an upset stomach. You understand? So it could bring on a smelly bathroom, but it brought on a smelly bathroom because it brought on an upset stomach, okay? So it's something that causes something else. Like if someone drinks too much alcohol, it could bring drunkenness on, or it could bring on severe drunkenness. Anything like that. It's something that causes something else. So bring on is kind of like it will make, or it has made, or it usually makes, okay? That's to bring on or bring something on. So let's get to the next one. The next one to get to is to bring out. To bring out. Now to bring out has more than one. So let's go with the first one. The first one for bring out is to highlight, or to show better, or to make more recognizable, or to make stand out. So for example, a lot of times, let's say a pretty girl has very blue eyes. She has very blue eyes. But if she wears like, and I don't wear makeup, this is what girls do. But let's say she wears like black eyeliner. She wears like black eyeliner, whatever it's called. That black eyeliner, because it's so dark, will help to bring out her eyes. Now her eyes are always blue, But because now she's wearing that dark eyeliner, it makes her eyes look brighter, so the dark eyeliner brings out her blue eyes. The dark eyeliner brings out her blue eyes, or bring her blue eyes out, okay? Because it is separable. So another example, maybe if the girl with nice blue eyes wears a blue sweater, she wears a blue sweater. A lot of times where a girl or guy has like blue or green eyes or brown eyes, whatever it is, when they wear a shirt that matches their eyes, it usually brings that eye color out because you notice it more. So I can say, wow, Dasha, your blue sweater really brings out your blue eyes. Your blue sweater really brings out your blue eyes. And it basically means to show a little more, okay? To make it more noticeable. The next one for bring out is basically to, wait, what did I put right there? Oh, yes. It basically means to produce, to make. So for example, let's say 50 Cent decides to start making sneakers. Again, let's say he starts making real cool sneakers. I'll be able to say, yo, I read in the magazine that next week 50 Cent is bringing out a new pair of G-Unit sneakers. 50 Cent is bringing out a new pair of G-Unit sneakers. That basically means they are producing it. They're making it so we can all have it, okay? It's being created. That's bringing out. Or for another example, let's say, who makes clothes that everyone likes? Let's say Nike. Let's say, no sneakers. Let's go to something else. Prada. Women like Prada, okay? Let's say Prada's making new high heel shoes that have 2 heels on each shoe. So it has 2 heels, not just one, but 2 heels on each lady's shoe. So the girls will be able to say, next week, Prada's bringing out a new high heel that has 2 heels. And all the girls will be excited. Now that the high heel has 2 heels, they will be able to walk better when they're drunk instead of just falling down all the time, okay? So that is to bring out. You got 2. One is to like make stand out a little more, to show better, and the other one is to produce. Got it? Excellente. So let's get to the next one. And the next one to get to is to bring up. And there is 2 for bring up as well, actually. So I might be giving you more than just 12 today. The first one to bring up is basically to mention, to say it, and put it in people's minds, to mention. So for example, bring up is separable. So for example, let's say a girl comes back from America. She's a Russian girl. I'm here in Russia. She comes back from America and she's here in Russia. When she went to America, she was very like skinny and sexy, very. But she just came back from America, and because she was in America for so long, she kept eating up, like McDonald's and sticking up the bathroom. Now, she's like really big. And as I talk to her, I know she's very emotional. I don't want to tell her that she's, fat. So all I would be thinking to myself is, don't bring up her weight, don't bring up her weight, don't bring up her weight, don't bring her weight up. Do not bring it up, leave it alone, do not bring it up. What does that mean? It means don't mention it. So if I were to mention it, that means I'm bringing it into our conversation. That's bringing something up, okay? That's mentioning it and making it a part of the conversation. There's some things you don't want to bring up. Let's say you meet somebody and this person has like something wrong with their face. Maybe one of their eyes is like this and stuff like that, and sometimes you don't want to say, hey, what the fuck happened to your eye? No, you don't want to say that. A lot of times it's just better not to bring it up and pretend that it's not there, okay? So to bring something up, the first one means basically to mention it. What is the second one? Well, the second one is kind of like bring someone up. This one is separable, and this one basically means to raise somebody. It means to raise a baby, to a kid, to a teenager, to an adult. It's to take care of them as they grow. That's to bring someone up. So my father brought me up. I didn't live with my mother, so my father brought me up. I was brought up in it's called a single parent home. When there's only one parent that really takes care of you, it's called a single parent home, okay? So I was brought up by a single parent. If you had Mamachka and Papachka at home, then you were brought up by both your parents. You grew up with a regular, family home. I grew up in a single parent home, okay? That's how I was brought up. That's how they brought me up, or he brought me up. You got it? So the bring up means to raise from baby, kid, teenager, all that stuff, blah, 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 okay? So next one we'll get to brush up. And what does it mean to brush up? Well, to brush up means to improve on something. It means to improve on something. So let's say I give you 20 phrasal verbs, and you're going to take a test on all 20 phrasal verbs tomorrow. So if you're practicing today, and out of the 20, you got 16 right, you could be happy with that and stop studying, or you can brush up on your phrasal verbs and try to get 20 out of 20. It basically means to improve on. So if you keep studying, you might be able to brush up, and by tomorrow, you will have perfect 20. And of course, brush up is separable as well. So you can say, I need to brush up on my phrasal verbs, or I'm going to brush my phrasal verbs up. Okay, anything like that. Now, personally, me, I don't use brush up separately, but apparently I guess some people in other dialects do separate them. I don't. I always say brush up together, but apparently according to the dictionary and all the other things I've seen, a lot of other people do separate them, okay? So that's the first one, and that's the only one for brush up, okay? Now, for the next one to get to is to budget for, and this one is non-separable to budget for. And what does it mean to budget for? Well, this one means to plan financially. To plan financially, like planning your money, getting ready for it, saving up money. So for example, this summer I want to go to Ayia Napa, Cyprus with my friends. I want to go to Ayia Napa, Cyprus with my friends here in Novosibirsk. So what do I have to tell them? I'm like, hey man, look, if you guys want to have fun this summer, let's start budgeting for a trip to Cyprus. What does that mean? We have to find out how much it costs. We have to save the money until that time, so when the time comes, we'll be able to spend the money. We have to budget for that. So how much would a trip to Cyprus cost altogether for maybe 2 weeks? I would say, I don't know, maybe $1,500 a person. Food, fun, airplane tickets. So we figure out how much it is, then we have to save money for it. That's how we're budgeting for trip to Cyprus. And plus we got to know how we're going to save the money. Maybe it's a job, maybe we're selling hats, or maybe we're going to keep making YouTube videos, but all that deals with financially planning. That is budgeting for something, you know, saving your money, figuring out how you're going to save your money, how much money to save, how much it's going to cost, and how you're going to make the money. That's budgeting for something, okay? You have to know how to budget for things if you want to do things that cost a lot of money, okay? It's basically that. So let's get to the next one. And the next one to get to is to build on. And this one is non-separable. Now what does it mean to build on something? It is similar to brush up, but it's a little more advanced, okay? Not more advanced, but it's a little bit of a higher level. Let me explain what I mean. So like I told you, when you brush up on something, you improve it. So if you have to learn 20 phrasal verbs, you master 16. In order to get 20 out of 20, you have to brush up. But when you build on something, you're basically taking it to another level, even higher than what you expected. So for example, let's say this person has a test tomorrow out of 20 phrasal verbs. And this person masters the 20 phrasal verbs. The test is Friday, today's Thursday. This person mastered the phrasal verbs, knows all 20 of them easily, could give examples, could give synonyms, all that stuff, mastered it. I'll be able to tell that person, hey, you're good with these phrasal verbs. Why don't you build on that and learn even more phrasal verbs? You don't need to brush up on these 20 because you know them already. Why don't you build on this knowledge and learn even more? Learn more ways to use these phrasal verbs. Use these phrasal verbs in your everyday life. Build on it. That means make more out of it. Not just what you need or what you expect. Make more out of it. That's taking it to another level. Okay? That is what it means when you build on something. You make more out of it, okay? You just make more. Got it? So brush up is to get it basically where it's supposed to be. To build on means to bring it more, okay? To make more out of it. Next one is to build up. And basically the build up means to add. Usually physical stuff. Well, usually physical stuff, yeah. So for example, let's say someone has big muscles. And you're like, wow, you have really big muscles. How did you build those muscles up? And yes, this one is separable. You can say, how did you build those muscles up? How do you build up such muscle? He could say, well, you know, I eat right, peanut butter, eggs, bananas and stuff, and I exercise every day, and I show the girls my pecs. All of that stuff is how he builds up his muscles, or how he builds his muscle up, or her. Either one, okay? So when you build up something, you're basically adding more onto it. That one's pretty simple, to build up. Now we have two more, then we're about done. Next one is to bump into. This one is non-separable. What does it mean when you bump into someone? Well, when you bump into someone or something, you ran into it, or you saw it, or met it somewhere unexpectedly. So if I'm walking through the street and I see my mom, I'm like, whoa, Mom, what are you doing in Russia? I can tell my friend the next day, I bumped into my mother yesterday on Krasny Prospekt. I have no idea why or how. I just bumped into her there. I don't know what she's doing here, okay? Bump into is similar to run into, meaning someone unexpectedly. And for the last one is to burn down. And this one is separable. To burn down means to cause a fire and then it's just finished. The fire burns it, now it's like ash. That's to burn down. So for example, if my ex-girlfriend really hates me, she would try to burn my house down. If she really, really hates me, she would try to burn my house down, or she would try to burn my laptop down. Basically to put it on fire and cause it to not be there anymore, okay? So, that's the end of the episode for today. I hope you liked it, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned new stuff. Be sure to add me, vk.com/Philochko, that's me, and subscribe to my YouTube page to see all my videos. I know these videos are kind of long, but I'm trying to make them faster. And that's basically it, guys. Check the links in the description for all the definitions. And you know what I put at the end of my videos now.
I'm recording you, so it's this video. It's like super HD, so I could don't make any sudden movements. You take a video, so